We're joined by Walter Nolen, Ole Miss defensive tackle. All right, Walter, I saw the interview where you said you're coming to the Senior Bowl to be the next Aaron Donald. You do not say that lightly, I take it.
Nah, it's. I just feel like I'm coming here to dominate. I feel like he came here with the same mindset I kind of got right now. And not a lot of people were talking about him after he left this week. Everybody was talking about him. So
I was at that set of practices, that first practice. Nobody could do anything with him. I talked to some offensive linemen from that year. They were terrified of him. So you've played against a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
So you kind of know what you can do. How do you separate yourself?
Really, this week I just want to separate myself by just trying to do the little extra things, whatever the coaches need to be done or whatever thing I can do, the small thing that can separate me. I can just try and do whatever I can do.
To be a dominant player at your position, you have to have a pretty big mean streak, right? You want to have to crush your opponent's bones into the dust. And you actually seem like a kind of a nice guy. So how do you find that?
Well, first I ain't really a nice guy. I feel like I usually just kind of let it all build up and just go out on the field and let it go. I feel like if any real football player knows that's really your calm space, bro.
So you say let it all build up. Is that before practice, before games? How do you do that?
In this day and age, it's a lot of people that be having mental battles or so you never know what a person's struggling with. So just kind of using that negative energy and turning it to positive energy, and just not trying to let the negative control your day.
So you don't go read me so Ari's bad about reading mean tweets about himself. People are nasty to him online and he fights back. But I have a feeling if he could go to football practice and then take it out on an offensive lineman, it'd be better.
I'd probably still get my ass kicked, Andy.
Probably would.
Yeah.
He went up to Jalen Carter a few years ago, and he's like, one rep against you. What are my chances? And I'm like, 0%. So
Walter, here's the
this
scenario. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm just
okay. So I'm playing right guard, and you're lined up against me, and there's a 7-step drop. The quarterback's not allowed to throw the football. Okay. And if I prevent you from touching the quarterback for 5 seconds, I get $5 million.
5 seconds.
I get $5 million. So it's kind of like a adrenaline rush for me, because for you it's just a rep, and for me it's life-changing money. And it kind of reminds me of when a mother picks up a car when their child is right? It's this adrenaline. I mean, think about what would be in it for me versus what would be in it for you. Do you think I could beat you for one rep?
Nah, I like your confidence though.
No, I'm just saying it's not even confidence; it'd be adrenaline at that point.
5 seconds?
I don't know. Okay, what's the normal hold time for a drop back? 3 seconds or 2.5 seconds?
For 2.
2.5, 3.
I know, but you don't think I would find that same adrenaline where if stopping this man was the difference between $5 million, I think I would murder somebody.
Yeah, do whatever you guys.
Also, yeah, he did say he wasn't a nice guy. He probably wouldn't take it easy on me.
No, he would not.
So do you ever picture? So you think that's a 0% chance? What if I had 5 months to train? Yeah,
I got that same 5 months.
I think he's going to use his 5 months more wisely than you.
5 months to train to beat me. Do you ever think make up that people lined up across from you were talking shit about you in your head? Do you ever play that mental game?
Yeah, kinda. I
like the water boy.
I always try to use it as negative because I don't really talk a lot, but some players they just gotta talk. So if a player talk to me, it just make it a long day for them. So really, I just do more playing than talk. You
ever play an offensive lineman that didn't talk but just growled or grunted?
Yeah. What game was that? I think we was playing Arkansas, and the guard just kept on grunting, but man, at least you ain't talking trash.
What is that, an intimidation factor? I've never heard of that. What do you mean?
I think that's a question for the offensive lineman. It don't work.
Was it the tennis players who grunt when they hit the ball? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That'd be kind of a weird grunt.
Yeah, I don't know if that might take me out of my game a little bit.
Man, nah, I be focused on the main thing, just win the game and win your
Depending
rep.
on the grunt. I mean, I don't know what the tone of the grunt is. How much trash talking is happening in the trenches? Because they always show like on TV and stuff like corners jawing at receivers and stuff. Like when you are lined up, though, you can't. There's no vantage point of
And
like
people actually have mouthpieces.
Like
in.
what's
inside.
it like in the seconds before snap? I mean, maybe everyone's focused because you got to listen to the snap count or whatever. But like, do people talk trash to your face like right before the snap sometimes?
Nah, I feel like it's more like a after the snap thing, like in between the whistles. Like it ain't as big as you see the wide receivers and DBs getting into it, but most of the time, if you're in the trenches, you're gonna hear some trash talk.
So open your PrizePicks app, set up your Super Bowl plays, and find out that you got a Patrick Mahomes almost free square. Download PrizePicks, best daily fantasy game in America. Use the code Staples. Play $5. Get $50 instantly when you sign up with that code Staples. But yes, for the Super Bowl, which we now know the matchup, Chiefs versus Eagles, Patrick Mahomes has an almost free square. So if he throws for a yard in the Super Bowl and you pick more than 0.5 pass yards, you're going to win that square. Now, the question is, what other squares are you picking? Because PrizePicks, you pick at least 2. The more you pick, the higher the potential payout. So are you going Jalen Hurts? More than 215.5 passing yards. He threw for quite a bit more than that the last time these two teams played in the Super Bowl. Saquon Barkley, 112.5 rushing yards, more or less. That is a massive number for an NFL running back.
He's really good, man.
He's incredible. That first
is
play.
He the best like running back of my generation?
Yes.
I mean, I don't even know who else is in contention. LaDainian
Is,
Tomlinson.
if you made Saquon a slot receiver and told him that was his primary job, he would be excellent at that too.
Raise your hand if you had Saquon Barkley on your fantasy team and didn't make the playoffs. That'd be me. Okay.
That's brutal.
Go ahead.
That's brutal. Also, Travis Kelce, playoff Travis, 62.5 receiving yards. You decide more or less on that one. I mean, this may be the last time we see Travis in a Super. I don't know. They might.
What?
He's 35 years old.
I mean, they go every year or so.
They do go every year. But
I thought you were going to say in a Chiefs uniform.
I am glad that PrizePicks is all ball though, and we're not talking about more than or less than shots of Taylor Swift during the game.
What would you hit that number at though?
It's gonna for the Super Bowl.
41?
It's gonna be so many. If 41 is, I would go
41 and a half. So there's no pushes.
41 and a half. I'd go more than still, but download that PrizePicks app. Use the code Staples when you sign up. Play $5. Get $50 instantly. You talk about this next Aaron Donald thing. I'm thinking about the way these practices work at the Senior Bowl. Like everybody comes to watch the one-on-one pass pro. Everybody. What's it going to be like when you're down there and you got a couple guys, but then everybody in the NFL surrounding you?
Really just the same thing I've been doing, but times 10. Relentless effort every rep. I feel like in this situation, our coach, and I kind of like what he said, in this situation, you got to feed your family and the person across from you trying to stop you. So it's really just it's a man versus man. Whoever going to drop their nuts. Excuse my friend.
Oh, no. You can say it on this show. And, that's the situation Ari just explained to you, except it's not man versus man with you and him. It's man versus.
I'm saying like your life goes on to be the same either way. Whether you win the rep or not, you'll be fine. Like to me, it's the difference between that and 1994 Mercedes SL 500 that I've been wanting.
If I lose the rep, it'll be crazy.
I think you would drop out of the draft. Like you'd go from first round to undrafted free. If you lost a rep to him in one-on-one pass pro.
Be hurt.
No, but what if the only person watching was the person paying me and nobody would ever know? Like you had no motivation. Like the only motivation on my side is.
You gotta listen, though. You gotta listen. I feel like you still gonna go tell somebody, like. You still gonna go tell somebody you beat me.
He's tweeting it out right afterwards.
No, it's like I'm just saying.
Like, I beat Walter Nolen in a rep.
If me beating you didn't have an impact on your future, and it had all the impact on my future, I would have the adrenaline in that scenario. And I'm not a small guy. I'll lay you out. I mean, if I'm being honest.
Every time I see that football, I don't know. It just automatically
turns on. What's crazy, Andy? Like, it seems like yesterday, but remember when everybody was just like maniacally following your recruitment? Yeah. And like where your family was moving and like where you were going and all that stuff. Like, can you take me back just a few years ago to what that was like? And, kind of just like how different things have maybe been now?
Coming out of high school, I was kind of highly recruited, I feel like compared to like the high school level and going to college, I feel like, they kind of forgot about me, but I feel like that's why I'm here. And I feel like that's why a lot of players here, honestly. But in high schools, more attention, more people want to talk to you, more everything, honestly. And I kind of not saying I didn't like it, but I kind of enjoyed the little quiet time I got, in college. So.
Was there pressure being part of that Texas A&M class that everybody was talking about?
Nah, it was never no pressure, Besides, I mean, everybody gonna talk, but it's the same thing we've been doing since we were little. So I don't really feel like there's no pressure.
I mean, I know that everyone's direction changed, but at the time, I think the stat, and you might correct me if you know it, Andy, was 18 top 100 players.
It was 7 top 100 defensive linemen alone.
Yeah, I mean, like, what was it like to, like, when you were headed there? Like, did you think that was gonna? Obviously, you did, but like, think that was gonna go differently?
Man,
because we were talking about Natty and stuff. I mean, I don't know about I was, because I was like, you don't sign a class like that and not win,
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Honestly, that kind of hurt. I kind of wish I had things were a little different, and I ended up finishing my career in them. But so God got a plan for everybody, and maybe it wasn't that time for us to win the Natty, but we thought it was. But God got the plans for us.
How was that last year at Ole Miss? How did that change your trajectory?
I mean, I feel like I kind of went in my third season, well, going to Ole Miss especially. I just felt like it was kind of like that time to like start waking people back up and just trying to remind them of who I am and who I'm going to be in the future.
Do you feel like you showed in your college experience, 2 years at A&M and 1 year at Ole Miss, what you can do, or do you feel like there's more people need to see?
I feel like there's a lot people still need to see. After the season, I went straight back to the lab. Straight back time to work. I feel like I don't got better on my pass rush a little bit. I don't sharpen up some of my tools. So, I'm just here to show that also.
It kind of feels like, and I don't know if I'm just picking up on this, but just like you're like quietly really, really motivated to try to, get all that attention back that maybe you didn't get from that high school recruitment right now at the most important time of your life.
Yeah, I just I will understand. I'm gonna just say I felt kind of a little disrespected. I feel like what I do, especially being a smaller defensive lineman in SEC and all, I feel like what I do is kind of hard, especially if I'm getting double teamed almost every snap, and I don't even weigh over 300 pounds. So I'm just gonna continue to play ball, and that's it.
Well, there was a guy. Now you're taller than him, but he was a little under 300 pounds when he came here. And
I already know.
That's right. Next one.
It ain't nothing to be said. Just anybody watching this, just tune in this week.
Walter, good luck.
Thanks so much for being here, Walter.
Thank you.
And if you ever want to, I'm just saying, like, you're going off to the NFL, like you're gonna be in a pretty good position.
I feel like this is the kick of the kick of destiny thing, the rep of destiny. You're gonna get
pros versus Joe scenario.
Yeah, you're gonna get paralyzed, but it's okay.
Could you imagine though, like if we set that up though, and like even if I got blown up and just filmed
so
it for the
here's
pod,
here's where I'm coming from on this, Walter. So I was a walk-on 240-pound offensive lineman at Florida who had to play against first rounders on the scout team.
240.
So I know what it's like to be small and get hit by a first rounder.
Yeah.
And how little time you will actually block that person. So I am laughing my ass off watching the confidence come out for him.
I mean, I'm laughing too. I just ain't gonna laugh at his face though.
Talking to the second team honorable mention JV fullback from Cave Creek, Arizona right now. Like I'm just like, I don't even like know if you know it. I'm kidding.
There aren't fullbacks anymore.